Welcome to Even Field, the sports podcast that puts women first. I'm Josie. I'm here with Amber.
Hello.
And we kind of have, I don't want to say it's the biggest volleyball match of the year.
Maybe so far.
So far, I would say. Definitely of the regular season
Yes.
for Nebraska until they play them again. But yeah, we've got number one versus number two. Nebraska, Wisconsin. Wisconsin's number one.
Nebraska's number two and hosting.
It's going to be crazy. Did you see the ticket
Oh
prices?
my goodness. That was like the first note that I wrote down. It wasn't even about the game.
Yes.
It was, what is it, like $225
for
standing room on StubHub. And that's as of Monday. So it could have changed today. I didn't bother to double check.
It's just insane.
To stand.
That, like, I saw so many people commenting about how, by the way, that this game should be played in Memorial Stadium so more people could come. I think even Chattel commented on it in his first down, second guesses column. That came out on
wrong.
Monday. But, like, I'm just trying to imagine that level of volleyball in the wind.
Oh my goodness, yes.
In, like, the weather right now, it would be...
Yeah, it's too fall.
And
too
also,
autumn.
you'd have to clear everyone out
from football, clean it up, and then
somehow get
everyone back in.
You'd have to build.
Yeah. No, I was
court.
like, I thought it was insane because what was the other price that like blew my mind?
$500.
$500 for upper level.
Yeah.
Which that same seat would on October 27th against Maryland, $250, which is still expensive, but
that's double
to sit. And like, there's no real nosebleeds in Devaney, but like, no.
You're like pressed up against the back.
Yeah.
That's the nose.
Got to hunch over when you stand up to cheer so you don't hit your head, you know.
But like, just the ticket prices on that, insane.
But no one cares about women's sports.
No one cares. And just Iowa
exactly.
Iowa
basketball.
I think they had 55,000.
And the WNBA game 3, I think, of the finals. It was like their largest attendance, like 17,000, I think. No one cares.
Women's sports crushing it.
Yep. And that was on a day where like NFL's playing, another women's, like the Iowa basketball game. So that's, competing against it head to head with fans. And it still did that. So,
Yeah. I am convinced that the time for Nebraska's football game on Saturday was determined by
volleyball.
How, like, when do we know this will be over so fans can
actually park and move over and
just
see.
Can literally just funnel.
Oh, because there's going to be a ton of people that are going to do the doubleheader.
I would.
Because it's
maybe not for those prices.
Yeah, definitely. Amber's got a budget, so. But kickoff is 4.5 hours before first serve, so.
The game starts at 2:30, so should
to 7. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say you can get everybody out of Memorial Stadium.
Yes, as long as they're sober.
And then you just go right in, and I think the match starts at, I want to say 8. Could be wrong, though.
I think it's 7 on BTN.
7?
I think so.
I know it's on BTN. Mm-hmm. I know why BTN kept the broadcast, but I'm a little sad that it's not like ESPN or like Fox, like so people with antennas could get it.
Sure. I agree, but college football is king during the fall, so.
I'm willing to bet based on the matchups this weekend in football that that
Nebraska Wisconsin volleyball will be queen, reign supreme.
It's gonna get it's gonna top more than a few football games.
I would agree.
But we are not here to talk about football unless a volleyball
is happening in the stadium.
Women's basketball match is played in the stadium.
Yeah. So Badgers are coming in with a 26 match winning streak.
Yep.
And that's before, I think they play Wednesday night.
So they play Wednesday.
We're recording on Tuesday.
They have Ohio State.
That will be a tough one, but
will it? They've already played Ohio State.
I was
They
just
swept
trying
them.
to give Ohio State benefit of the doubt.
It's in Wisconsin.
I think as long as they aren't setting their sights on the Nebraska matchup this weekend, because that tends to happen where you look ahead to your tougher game.
I don't know if that happens for Wisconsin.
I don't know that it happens. Yeah. I would agree.
I know it happens to Nebraska.
Yes.
But Nebraska's starting lineup has such like a heavy freshman.
Sure.
I think that really can just and Merritt Beeson transfers in.
Right.
So
But
We'll
yeah,
have to see.
I just think as long as they are taking it one match at a time, then
Should be fine. Nebraska has Northwestern.
which shouldn't
Be
a problem.
It shouldn't be a problem. I will say Northwestern is 3-5 in the Big Ten, which like when you get into the middle of the Big Ten, they're 3-5, 4-4.
Right.
They've all just beaten each other up, which is how the Big Ten goes.
Yes.
Every year.
If you're not at the very top.
Yeah, if you're not. Which, by the way, is both Nebraska and Wisconsin are the only ones. They're 8-0.
Yep.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
So it's battle of 1 and 2, battle of the undefeateds. It should be fantastic. And like, so with Wisconsin, I mean, they have the reigning player of the week right now
Yeah.
in Sarah Franklin, but the Huskers have
Lexi Rodriguez.
who's defensive player of the week.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're just looking at accolades right now,
It's pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, Lexi Rodriguez might be the defensive player of the week, but Carter Booth from
oh my
Wisconsin.
goodness. Okay, so she's
Just-
leading the conference in hitting percentage and in blocks.
I know. So I went and I looked up to see where Nebraska, Wisconsin players were in the top 50 because I wasn't going to go all
Right.
the way down. So she is number 10 in the nation in blocks per sets. Becca Alec is also like pretty high. She's number 13. But like her Booth is tied for for 42 in the nation with like 86, which like when you look at the total,
Sure.
it's very like it's not accurate because Wisconsin hasn't played a lot of 5-set matches.
Right.
There's not that many opportunities.
Right.
So
It just, yeah.
it's always kind of more important to look at the per set. And I feel like in volleyball, unless like someone's like got 12,000 aces.
Sure.
Then,
Yeah,
like,
that's a little different. Yeah. But I mean, it's pretty crazy because like the Badgers, they're leading the conference in points with 18.5% basically. Hitting percentage, assists, kills, and opponent blocks.
Yep.
Now, I believe the Huskers are leading in like 2 categories, and they're obviously in the top 5 and everything. So it's just one where it's like, yep, they earned number 1.
No, it makes complete sense. I think if you look at like the difficulty of the schedules, they're pretty even as well. For both, I wouldn't be surprised if this goes 5 sets. I wouldn't be surprised if whichever team won the first just sweeps the whole thing.
Agreed.
Like, I don't know what's going to happen this weekend, but I'm excited.
I can't wait. And I'm planning my TV viewing around this match.
I will be doing the live updates for this
Right.
match on Omaha.com, so I will be watching.
I will be watching your updates.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I probably won't just be me doing it. I might drag someone else into doing it. But yeah.
But overall, I mean, it is safe to say it is the game, match, set, everything of the week, period,
Yeah. No,
for
it's-
everyone.
I mean, both teams, like Wisconsin needs to beat Ohio State. Nebraska needs to beat Northwestern. If either team loses to one of those teams,
The other team's going to have a massissive advantage going into it. just
yeah,
mentally.
because they're both playing teams that they should absolutely dominate.
Right.
Like, so that's going to be key. I really think controlling, not hitting towards Carter Booth would be a good place to start.
Agreed.
But like controlling Sarah Franklin.
Yes.
Like, I know she was a 3rd-team All-American last year. She's going to be.
All over the place. I mean, she's amazing.
She's amazing. Like, she has over 200 more attacks than the next person on Wisconsin's team.
Which is
Which
insane.
is insane. But if you think about it, if you can just
Yeah.
focus on her. I'm not saying the rest aren't good.
No.
I'm
But
just-
when you have that, you
will-
go with what works.
Yeah, and it will
and
throw
as
them off
long
their
as it
game.
keeps working.
Yeah. But like, you don't want to hit it towards, is it Anna Smrek? Her hitting percentage is,
Yeah, it's over 40%.
it's .429.
Yes, which is second in the conference.
Yep.
So-
She's crazy good too. So you don't want to hit it. You don't want her
Yeah.
getting a serve or serve, a set, excuse me.
They really, I mean, we can name all these. Every single person on the Badgers is a threat. But at the same time, every single person on the Huskers is a threat too.
No, that's what I was gonna say. So Wisconsin's, let's just look at the setters.
Right.
Wisconsin's setter, with starting center, except for one match, is Izzy Ashburn.
Right.
Or Ashburn, excuse me. I can talk. It's fine. That is against like Bergen Riley. Bergen Riley has 612 assists this season. Ashburn only has 387. That's a
half. I mean, almost. Not quite.
Not
but
quite.
yeah.
But like, that's interesting.
It's a significant.
But also, like, that's total. They both haven't played a lot of 5-set matches.
Sure.
But like, gotta think that through.
Yeah.
They also have Wisconsin has another setter that they do bring in from time to time. Like, but like, that's interesting.
Yes. I will say, on Badger Extra, they did a feature. Jim Polzine did an interview with Izzy, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago for Open Gym. And it's really interesting. I mean, I know we're talking to Husker fans, but if you want to learn more about one of the players on the team who's going to make a difference, you should check it out.
Yeah. And she's incredible. Bergen Riley is also
incredible. It's one of these, it's a game that is difficult to talk about because every single person is awesome.
I know. It's crazy. I don't like, we haven't even talked about Merritt Beeson.
Right.
Like,
or even Lexi. All we've done is mention that she got Defensive Player of the Week.
Yeah, no. Harper Murray, both of them have over 200 kills so far this season. And like both, oddly enough, on .280 hitting percentage.
Oh, that's funny.
It is funny. But like if you think about like also like Lindsay Krause, she's in the hundreds. Andy Jackson also in the hundreds, and she is hitting at .405.
Yeah, and she is third in the Big Ten.
And she is so good.
And this is the first time we're mentioning her in the podcast.
I know.
And she is so good. So that's the kind of talent we're looking at, which is just amazing.
No, it's incredible. And I don't know, like, and then like we have this match, and like, you know, I don't know if losing if Nebraska were to lose to Wisconsin,
sure,
I don't think you can necessarily move them from the number 2 spot in the rankings.
Right. That's the thing. I mean, if you lose to number 1 and you're number 2,
well,
and it's your only loss.
And the number 3, I'm pretty sure, is Stanford, who
Nebraska beat.
Like, yeah. So, like,
I'm glad I'm not the one who has to do all that.
Well, it's the coaches.
I know. But I'm still glad I'm not the one who has to do all that.
Fair enough. It is going to change the first place votes, though, I'm sure.
Yes.
Because right now, I think
it's one of those grudging, well, we have to vote for that.
it's not, it's like very heavily, it's like 59 Wisconsin, 5. Nebraska, obviously it's going to go the total number on whoever wins this thing. But yeah, I don't, you got to control Carter. You got to not hit at Carter
Booth.
Don't let her block. She will block you.
She literally will block you.
And like, I don't know how you control Sarah Franklin, to be honest, but
I don't think many people in the NCAA do either. So, but that's literally what they're going to have to do.
And watch your receives when Julia Orzol is
serving. Oh my
serving.
Goodness, yes.
Got 20.
Julia, I think it's Julia. Isn't it?
I am not sure, actually. You're probably right. I have no idea.
We spend a lot of time looking up pronunciations, listeners, and
okay, here's the thing.
Brutal.
First of all, announcers never say
their first names.
They never do. And then some websites are very helpful and give you the little, like, I don't know, it's like a microphone or
yeah.
An
Oh,
ear.
yeah, the listen where they play the sound.
You can hear them. But otherwise, it's so hard to find out how to say these people's names because volleyball is not covered like football.
Yes.
So you just like
wing it.
You just kind of wing it, and that's sad.
But at least we are showing respect to all of these women and how good they are. So
we really try
let's
to focus
on that.
We really try to pronounce your names. It's so hard, and I apologize.
Yes. Sorry, I kind of derailed you on that one.
That's okay. That's fine. 23 aces this season.
23 aces.
Which, like, to be fair, Nebraska has struggled with serving this year and last year, and honestly the year before that as well. But Beeson's got 16. Granted, that is 7 less.
Right.
But watch those receives, people.
Yes.
Watch them. I'm talking in my hands again.
It works for me because I get to see you.
That's fair.
But yeah, it's going to be a great one, and everyone, the winner's going to have to play as close to perfect as possible.
I agree. And if you want to watch this and you cannot afford a $250 standing room ticket.
only.
I bet if you called your cable provider, it would be cheaper to for 1 month.
Yes.
Pay for Big
Big
Ten.
10. Although I'm sure you're going to be able to find it on TV in public houses.
I would be, yeah, that's fair. I am also assuming that they will eventually put like a highlight.
Oh, yeah. They'll probably cut in on all the Fox football games and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
It'll be around. You'll see. Or you can follow my live updates. They'll be on omaha.com.
Exactly.
And they are very detailed. because
Josie puts in work.
Because I'm a little bit insane. That's okay. I think
Okay, so Saturday, I believe 7, BTN.
watch it.
Yes.
We already know you're watching. If you're this far into the podcast, you're clearly
gonna
going
watch
to
it.
watch it. Creighton.
Creighton volleyball.
So
Hit me with it because I don't know.
they're in a 3-match win streak. They swept everyone last weekend.
Nice.
They've got UConn and Providence this weekend on the road.
Ooh.
Which, like, that's where the Jays have been
a
a little
little.
bit shaky, but they should beat them. But they also should have beat Xavier. So
Sure.
I kind of want to see what they do on the road again before I really make a big claim like they're going to win, because I don't know.
I can say that the fans in stores, they show up. So
Yeah.
that'll be a tough one fan-wise, with
That's
the crowd
fair.
pulling in Connecticut.
Yeah. But UNO, they have been. I mean, okay, so we have been saying that their record was not
Reflecting their talent.
because they started 1-10, and now they're on a 7-match win streak,
Yes. So that puts them at 8-10 overall, but 7-1 in the conference.
which is what they care about.
Yes. And that also puts them at number 1 in the conference, right? Mm-hmm. Which is pretty darn great. They also swept the Summit League weekly honors. Emily Huss won Defensive Peak Performer of the Week, and McKenna Rush, hopefully I said that right, is the Offensive Peak Performer of the Week. So who do they have next?
So they have South Dakota. Well, okay, so they are also on the road. They have South Dakota again. They did beat South Dakota in 4, which was kind of a shock because South Dakota's really good normally.
They are.
So I'm interested to see how that goes in Vermilion. And they have Oral Roberts, they also beat earlier. So they are already kind of doubling up.
Good. So that builds up confidence, too, going into games when you know you've already won. So
Especially when it's on the road. That
Yeah.
can only help.
yeah, definitely.
I will say Vermilion is kind of a hard place to play.
Yeah. Rabid fans.
They care about their women's sports. They don't care much about their football team sometimes, though. Because, to be honest, the USD football team has let me down a timer
And
dozen.
also, I mean, it's cold. Maybe not right now, but it's getting cold.
Well, so USD plays in a dome.
Oh, they dome it. Okay.
Yeah, they have a dome.
That's good.
That's where they play the high school state tournaments, too.
Oh, cool.
I know that because my junior year of high school, my team won the state football title.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
I had nothing to do with it. I rode a bus down there. Yeah, but that's about it. I'm excited to see how those Creighton and UNO play this weekend. Maybe not to the same level I'm excited about Nebraska.
Right. I mean, but if they were in the top 2 of the country,
This is fair. And Creighton's been like jumping all over the rankings.
They have been
the
bouncing
teens
around. Yeah.
of it. Like they were 17, now they're 15. Nebraska's just been like number 2.
yeah, exactly. But
Um,
either way, everyone has a pretty strong stand coming up. So whether it's at home or on the road.
Yeah, agreed. I think we'd be remiss to not talk about Supernovas.
Yes, Supernovas have, I guess, rounded out their coaching staff. So they just named John Shea, who is an assistant coach for Team USA, I believe, and then John Corbelli. They will be assistant coaches. And then we have a former Husker All-American, Laura Plikowski Buttermore. She is the head strength and conditioning coach. So I think it's pretty awesome to have a woman as the head strength and conditioning coach. I'm also just a huge fan of having women coaches for women's sports.
Agreed.
But to have a woman in charge of strength and conditioning is pretty awesome. And she, in addition to being a Nebraska native, to being a Husker All-American, she's also, her husband is lucky enough to be married to her, and he is the head coach of UNO volleyball.
Yeah.
So,
They interviewed her during the Memorial Stadium match.
yes.
And she promised that she was rooting for Omaha.
I'm sure
live
she
TV.
said that to keep, peace in the household.
I'm sure she was okay with whatever the outcome was.
Yes. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Both of the assistant coaches have a ton of experience that they're bringing to the teams, national team experience. John Corbelli was an associate head coach at Texas A&M for like 25 years, and A&M may not have been the top team in NCAA, but they've always had a strong volleyball program. So I think that speaks very highly. We've got really good coaching staff for the Supernovas.
I'm very excited. We do have a good coaching
For
staff
the Huskers,
as
yes.
well. But we're not talking about that right now.
Yes. So I'm already counting down to the season starting in February.
Yeah, I bet you are because you have tickets.
Because I have a season ticket. Just one, just for me.
Just for you.
Yep.
I'm so excited for you.
I mean, anytime I can't make it, you're welcome to have the ticket.
I will never be able to.
I know, you have to work all the time.
That's how it always goes.
Yeah.
Anything fun, I'm like, nope, you have to work it because it's a big sporting event. Yeah.
Oh, quick, just on high school volleyball.
Yep.
So we have, I believe, sub-districts are starting next week. Next week, 23rd, I think is when they first start. Right now, classes B, C, and D are set. I think Class A, when I checked earlier today, have not been set yet. But that starts the road to state, which will be very exciting.
I don't think A has sub-districts. I think
That's right.
They
They
just have
don't.
districts.
Yes, they just have districts.
There's not enough teams.
It always throws me off because they still leave it blank on the page for sub-districts. And it's like, just take Class A out. Just write Class A, go straight to districts. Just do it.
Yeah, something like that.
Would just make things a lot easier. NSAA. And also don't put soccer and girls soccer. They're either boys soccer and girls soccer or just soccer. Stepping off my soapbox. And then a quick shout out to Sydney Moleskar from Mercy. She is leading the state in aces with 74. Second place is 72. She obliterated the school record. It was 63.
Yeah, no, that is an obliteration.
And she got like 13 aces in one match. So shout out to her because she's one of my track girls, and I just think that's very exciting. And she's a senior, so we'll see what she ends up leaving. I know her stretch goal is 90 by the end of the season, so hopefully if they make a run at state, they'll be able to do that.
That would be fantastic. I did want to point out that we did have a little bit of a shake-up with high school volleyball.
Yes.
Lincoln Lutheran lost.
Which...
It's just,
we've talked about them before.
We've talked about them. We talked about them because they had like at that point, I don't know how many.
An insane win streak, right?
Yes. So it ended at, I believe, 74. I have to look it up. Mike Patterson covered it. To Kearney Catholic.
Oh.
Who is now our number 10 because you can't beat a team like that and not make
the top
10.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
That's pretty cool.
You do well, you make the top 10.
Yes.
That's the most blanket statement of all time. Yeah. And then Minden is also in our top 10. So we got the C1, C2 going on. And then it's a lovely mix of A and B.
Yeah.
Pepio South, obviously the top. Ranked, I believe, 7 nationally.
I think that's correct. I know it was top 10.
It's either 6 or 7.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't top 5, but I believe you're right, 7.
It's in Mike Patterson's column that went out Tuesday.
Omaha.com.
You can check it out there. And then I feel like we should probably mention that we had a state tournament.
Yes. Actually, before we get to that, can I get a quick note about cross country?
Absolutely.
And then we'll end with celebrating some state championships.
Yeah.
So high school cross country for Nebraska, the state meet is this Friday in Kearney. Class A, B, and C, they all have 10 returning teams. Class D has 15 returning teams. So some powerhouses that are coming back. Just a couple quick notes. The B4 district meet, Norris got a perfect team score. So they all placed 1, 2, 3, 4.
Holy crap.
And then they also had the 5th place finisher, and all of the Norris runners were in the top 7.
Congratulations.
Yes. So they've been favored to win pretty much whole season.
That sounds like
and I don't think that prediction's going to change.
But do you think they'll go 1, 2, 3, 4?
I don't think they'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, but I think they'll get a lot of girls in the top 15. Mm-hmm. So that will be a fun race to watch. In Class B, Lincoln Northwest snagged the qualifying spot for the first time ever. They've only had a program for 2 years, so this is the second. So that's really impressive. They were also led by a freshman, who was 7th in the district. And Sky, I don't want to butcher your last name, so I'm not going to say it. But her name's Sky, and she's a freshman. And that's just a lot of fun seeing that. And then we've talked about Lincoln East before. They won the A1 district, and all 7 runners would have qualified for state individually because they were all in the top 15. And senior Mia Murray, she won by almost a minute, 56 seconds in 18:20
really
over a 5K.
Yeah. Do you think it's going to be cold in Kearney?
I actually haven't looked at the weather. My team did not qualify for state, so our season is done tomorrow after the Northwest meet. So I fully admit I haven't checked the weather. But that's kind of cross-country weather. So districts was moved from Thursday to Wednesday last week because they were expecting, tons of rain and everything. And it was a little warmer than we expected, but it was still relatively cool. And it was like perfect cross-country weather. Enough of a wind that you aren't getting, you aren't melting in still air, but not so much that it was like preventing things. So hopefully they will get that again in Kearney.
That would be lovely.
Which is also a gorgeous course, so...
Well, good luck to everyone competing.
Yes. Gotta love Fall State Championships. Speaking of...
We got to close out with congratulating, Papio, Grand Island Northwest, and Ashland Greenwood. They all won state softball titles yesterday, technically.
Right.
It was Ashland Greenwood's first. It was Papio's 17th state title. And then Grand Island Northwest was the defending champions, so they repeated.
That's awesome. And I think I saw that Jordy Ball threw out the ceremonial first pitch for that state final game.
Yep.
Not bad.
Not bad. Not a bad thing to do.
Yep.
Especially when her old team wins.
Ends up winning it all. Yes. Yeah. So an omen.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Congratulations to all of those.
Yes.
Good
luck to everybody who's competing this week.
Yeah. You can check out all of our coverage of that state tournament on omaha.com. But until next time, thanks for listening.
Bye.